All right, y'all. Now we're back. Let's get into a little bit of political stuff.
Everyone's favorite.
Yeah. Actually, probably my least favorite thing to talk about. I feel like a lot of this is like some BS, and we're going to get into a reason why I feel that way. So recently, after the shooting that occurred in Florida, the NRA is now trying to come down on the gun control laws. But it's ironic because they indeed, in fact, helped create these laws.
Yeah.
So it's just funny to me. So I'm reading a little excerpt from CNN on this. It says, on Wednesday during CNN's town hall with survivors of last week's mass shooting at a high school in South Florida, National Rifle Association Representative Dana Loesch, I hope I'm pronouncing that correct, Dana Loesch, lamented the holes in the FBI's National Instant Background Check System, or NICS, stating this madman passed a background check. How was he able to pass a background check? He was able to pass a background check because we have a system that's flawed, Loesch said on the stage. It's not federal law for states to report convictions to the NICS system. It's not federally mandated. That's the big question. And I wish this network had also covered it more. So she's
just deflecting.
But in the next part, it goes to say that in fact, it was the NRA that led the effort to block the federal mandate by financing and arguing the U.S. Supreme Court case that let states off the hook. The 1997 decision in Prince versus the United States threw out part of the Brady Handgun Violence Prevention, the Handgun Violence Prevention Act, and made it optional for local courts, police departments, and states to submit background information on residents. So it's just very ironic that she's coming down trying to slam the current gun laws when the organization that she's a part of indeed helped shape and mold these current laws. Now, it would appear to the common person like myself that the only reason they would try to contort these laws in the first place is to, anybody guessing? Why they would be forcing laws to go certain ways?
Go ahead.
To sell more guns, it seems like. Yeah. It's like they had this whole thing with the courts, and they were pushing certain things in my opinion, to be able to sell, to have more guns and to have more control over what happens. And another thing that baffled me before I did some research, it was like, why does the NRA have so much influence? And so let me read you another excerpt that I found on CNN also. Okay, and it says, when National Rifle Association talks, large swaths of Capitol Hills listen. And when the NRA has aimed to block any new gun legislation in the wake of mass shootings, it so far succeeded in thwarting such efforts. So why does the group hold so much sway? Partly because more than half of congressional incumbents have gotten money and organizational help from the group, with many members having long-standing financial relationships with the NRA that dates back years. Okay, so you can look up this chart on CNN. It's written by Aaron Kessler, and he has a chart on here. It's very interesting. Let me read you some of these numbers. It says the number of members getting direct and indirect financial support from the NRA. 8 members have received over $1 million from the NRA. So 8 members of Congress has received over $1 million. 39 have received more than 100,000. 128 have received over 25,000. 202 have received over 10,000, and 307 have received some kind of aid from the NRA. That's a lot of people, and that's a lot of power in Congress. Okay. Another interesting fact: the chart also states that Democrats who receive NRA report 24. And the Republicans who did not receive report are only 6. So you have 6 members. So you have this party in Congress in DC making all the decisions, and only 6 of them haven't received donations or don't have some kind of influence from this kind of group. So just what are your thoughts on that whole spill?
Well, I think it's the biggest lobby in the world. Like, obviously, into our politics, it's the biggest lobbyist that we have, even though lobbying is supposed to be, not supposed to exist. We all know that's a big lobby play. The funny thing about the NRA is I own 3 guns, and I'm not a member of the NRA.
Right.
It's not like to own a gun, you have to be a member of the NRA. It's just something that it's a club. That's basically what it is. Why does a club have so much power over laws and politics? And why do they have so much money to be able to give to have people support their causes, to have people blindly back them just off of money? It's a freaking club. You don't see the Boy Scouts or the Girl Scouts, involved in politics, and that's just a club. That's just a club, and that's all the NRA is. It's just a club, and for them to basically be the main lobbyists in the political game and to be known lobbyists, and for that to still be happening. I don't know who governs it. I don't know. Maybe they, went properly around the laws and are able to do it. And, it's not against the law to give, to a party or to a person to help a campaign. That's not illegal. We understand that. But to have that much influence in a country that doesn't even allow monopolies, Bill Gates dogged all the time because, well, he's a monopoly. And, we're the only country that really doesn't allow monopolies. Come on, look at the oil here. There's one oil provider here.
Yeah. Owned by the government.
And owned by the government. So it's like we're the ones that have done away with these monopolies, yet we have this NRA that is basically a monopoly of lobbyism. And that highly affects our politics. And however we can get away with that or get away from that, I don't know. It's very, very tough for a club to be able to do that.
Yeah, good. Definitely, I agree with that one. And I never even thought about it as just a club. I don't know much about the NRA, but when you use those words, you break down like that, it's crazy. It's crazy how. Yeah, I don't know what it is about us and Americans needing or wanting
guns so bad.
I know a lot of people have them for protection for your own reasons. But it's not like okay, you own 3.
Yeah, I can just tell you from my experience of why I do own a gun or something.
Right.
They have been handed down, but I have been taught to properly shoot them. I've been taught for many years to properly shoot them. I've probably shot them in areas where we were not hurting anybody. Yeah. We've been to target ranges and things like that. And I do enjoy doing some target range stuff. But in my house, they are in certain spots where they're not in sight, they're not visible, but where I can get to them if I know something's going down in my house. And that's the only reason I take them out in the house, unless I'm carrying them to the car and I'm about to go somewhere to use them for target or just to go shoot.
And you're not attached to them.
No,
because you're out here. You've been away from them before. But they're like when I watch Fox and Friends, and I hear like the argument, and especially when
people are so passionate about
and the idea going back to President Obama, saying we need to change these laws and this can't keep happening, and kids being killed. And then like the argument that some people had, very ignorant, was just, you can't take away my guns. They were so passionate.
Yeah.
It was like,
constitutional right.
It's like, I'm not trying to take away. The wrong people.
Trying to modify how people acquire them.
And that's the point that I was thinking about the other day was, as Americans, especially the hardcore Americans that go into like long-term politics, we are so ingrained to trust those letters that we built in 1770s.
Right, bro. Like it was a totally different time.
And that's what it's like. You didn't think life changed.
Right.
You didn't think life would change.
Right.
And life has changed. You need to govern your rules by the way the society is being changed and how it's changed. Those laws were made for those, settlers back in the 1700s.
Yeah. Who had, British soldiers,
exactly.
Walking up and down the streets, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So and now you got the right to arm yourself.
Yeah. And they
against, against the redcoats.
Exactly. And it was at their doorstep.
Right.
Where they couldn't avoid it. And they were trying to colonize and build a purpose. Guns nowadays, especially, with the gun laws that we have now, there really is no hardcore way to stop it from being in anybody's hand.
Right.
And I know not everybody that has a gun shoots responsibly, is responsible with guns.
That is true.
And, back in, the 1700s, that's what the colonists did. They went out, they were like the militia.
Right.
They got together and they knew how to, properly shoot the guns for when redcoats were coming. They had a plan, and that's military.
Right.
Military is allowed to have guns because they can protect. And I think that's what we're getting away from with the whole gun laws. Yes, I admit it's fun to shoot guns, to go out,
no
target practice, things like that. But never when I've held a gun in my hand have I ever envisioned shooting somebody or ever envisioned chaos with it.
And the problem is like you said earlier, we're not necessarily trying to take away guns from everybody. Like I understand, and that would be
impossible.
Yeah, exactly. In a real sense, a country where 1 out of 4 people has a gun. You know what I'm saying? Something crazy like that. To get all those guns back and dispose of that. That's not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? I just want us to modify how people acquire them. Like you said, this 19-year-old kid was able to go buy assault rifle, bruh.
15 assault rifle.
You know what I'm saying? And clearly he had some issues. So. From school documents, something should have deterred someone from. And it's so easy to acquire. I was watching this documentary some time back where this guy, it was talking about guns and stuff and how they run guns from Georgia, where guns are cheaper and laws are less strict. How they run guns from the South to, up to the East Coast, like New York and Jersey and those places like that. And people, they run guns that they sell and they make a profit. So I was watching a documentary and dude had a little button camera on. So he goes into this gun show, right? Walks up in the gun show, sees a gun, and he's like, hey, how much is this gun? And he's talking to him about the gun, blah blah blah. And he was like, yeah, you think I can get it for this much? He was like, yeah, I said to you for this much. He's like, you got your license with you? He was like, no, I don't have it on me. He's like, I didn't plan on purchasing anything today. He's like, but I do own one. He was like, well, I'll send it to you. And he sold it to him.
Yeah, easy.
And you know what I'm saying? So anybody could just walk in there and get a scrap.
Just
and then
it's money.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? We have to be more aware of the bigger picture. If someone doesn't have that license to get a gun, they should not have one. You know what I'm saying? That documentary was just showing how easy it is for something like that to happen.
Now, I'm not too familiar with the process of how they did it, or if you've even heard of it. I heard the comedian Jim Jeffries, who was his stand-up routine went viral when he was talking about the U.S. and these school shootings and the gun problem versus Australia, and where they had a situation, apparently, there's gun violence, and the government pretty much shut it down.
Yeah, I heard, but yeah.
And they haven't had a problem since.
Right.
So I'm not sure what actually happened there, but it does work if you pay attention.
Exactly, man. If you have people who care about it, if you have people in the right positions who care about it enough, who are not scared of the consequences of it affecting their pockets. You know what I'm saying? They're worried about re-election. A lot of those people who get money from the NRA are incumbents. So people who, either coming back, been there for a while. It's, people have to see the bigger picture of what's going on, especially in the U.S. You know what I'm saying? Especially us living abroad, living in a place where guns are totally illegal. I ain't scared to go nowhere in the UAE.
Not one place.
I ain't scared to go nowhere in the UAE. You know what I'm saying? Because the worst that'll happen, you get into a fight.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know anybody gonna shoot me.
Yeah.
That's even going out in Europe. I was talking about in the last show. Being in Amsterdam, guns are totally illegal. You know what I'm saying? There's models out there. You know what I'm saying? Where stuff works, and I feel like people in Congress are hanging on to the money too much to pay attention to the stuff that's really important, which is lives.
Those guns, they fuel prison systems. It is a huge
systematic
tree to chop down, because that system. You take those guns, put them on the street. I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
Someone dies or someone gets arrested. Either way, someone's going to jail for gun possession. Just like New York is just extremely strict. get caught with a gun. But gun possession, murder,
it
fuels prison systems. So it's I don't know if it'll ever.
I mean, like we said, there's money talks.
Yeah.
So as long as there's money involved in it, we're gonna have problems. But like you said, there's places around the world where we've seen
you can see that
examples of it.
Yeah, exactly.
When something happens, boom, they hit it hard, and things get better. But people got to see past the money, in my opinion. Like people in Congress, you got to see past the money, please, for the sake of people who are out here getting shot in schools and whatnot. It's tragic, bro.
Yeah.
How easily people can get guns, and people with all these mental health issues wind up with guns and stuff like that. The process to do it has got to be more strict. The article was also saying how the NRA during those court battles, it went on to say in the excerpt that the government was trying to make local officers, local government, do like the background check. So
right.
So my thinking is that it would have been a little bit more thorough if you had people from these small communities or even larger communities, but people in their own town doing the background checks. You know what I'm saying? So, but they made a whole thing about local government shouldn't be doing the fast jobs and stuff like that. And ultimately, they won, where it was the FBI had to do all that stuff. But like I said, we as a country, we definitely do need to revisit these laws and make some corrections to them. Yeah, man. Anything else to add to that?
No, just we can hope it gets better and no one else has to die in order for people to listen, So.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
Okay. All right, man. We'll be back with y'all in a little bit. Holla at your boy.